It is now time to begin writing our letter. Keep in mind, though the letter looks like this on your sheet, we are going to follow this formatting that we have here. So we're going to make sure that we quad space in between the return address and the letter address, and also quad space down on the bottom. It does not show that in your assignment, but we need to make sure we follow this format as we're writing our letter. To begin, we're going to open a blank Microsoft Word document. Click on blank document, and we'll just save this right away. So go File, Save As. We're going to save this in our H drive under Tech Apps, Microsoft Word, and then Mail Merge. And I'm just going to save this as graduation Mail Merge, and you don't need to put the date. Go ahead and hit Save, and now we have our letter that we're going to begin writing on. Our first step then in writing the letter, similar to what we did in the business letter we wrote earlier, is to set a 2-inch top margin. We can do that one of two ways, either double click in the gray or select Layout, Margins, Custom Margins, and we're going to change the top to 2. Click OK. We are then going to begin by writing the return address, and as you see on your assignment here, we're going to use Hoffman Estates High School's address along with today's date. So we'll type in 1100 West Higgins Road, Hoffman Estates, comma, IL 60169. You'll type today's date. I'm doing this on October 30th, but whatever day you are writing this letter, you should type in that date. I will then hit enter 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now this is where our letter becomes a little bit different. Since we are not writing this letter to one individual, we are actually writing it to 4 individuals. We need to create these temporary fields to put into our letter since everyone's information is different. So how we do that is through a mail merge. And to get and start a mail merge, we go up to Mailings, Start Mail Merge, and then we're going to click on the step-by-step mail merge wizard, and we will use this each and every time. The first 2 steps, we're always going to hit next. We are writing a letter, so it's the first thing that's already there. You can go ahead and click next, and then additionally it's asking select your starting document. The document that we are on is going to be our starting document, so you can go ahead and click on next again to move into step number 3. Once we get to step 3, it's asking us to select our recipients, and we are going to use an existing list. We are going to use this data source that we just created on Microsoft Excel. So we need to tell Microsoft Word that we want to use this. And how we do that is under Use an Existing List, you're going to see Browse. Navigate to wherever you stored that file. It should be in your H drive somewhere. And we called that the graduation data. Go ahead and click on Open. Make sure that this box is selected here that says first row of data contains column headers. That's our first name, last name, city, gift, all that stuff. And then go ahead and click OK. And you should see all of your information that you typed into your Excel document pop up. Click OK. And you are good to move on to the next step, which is to write your letter. Since each person is unique, we are going to use what's called an address block. In order to enter an address block, over on the right-hand side here in step 4 of 6, we're going to go ahead and click on address block, and you should see something like this pop up. We can stick with these defaults, but if you click through, you're going to see each record for each person come up. Now you can see that I'm missing something here. I have James McDonald, I have his first name, his last name, his address, but I don't see the city anywhere. Why is that? Well, if I go back into my data source, you guys can see that I spelled city incorrect. I forgot the Y. I also spelled address incorrectly here and forgot to add a D, but Word somehow recognized that for me, so we're good for that. But we need to make sure that we label these correctly, and if they're not there, and yours might be if you spelled everything correct, what we need to do is we need to match fields. And I want my city to match up with this incorrect spelling of city here. So I match that up, click OK, and now I can see that I have all the pieces of the address. James McDonald, 53 Wright Drive, his address, his city, his state, and his zip code. We want to make sure those match exactly. Go ahead and click OK, and then you're going to see this address block filter into the top of your letter. The last little piece for the top of our letter is to enter in a greeting line. So if we're following proper business format, after our address block, we hit enter 2 times. So 1, 2. We are then going to put in a greeting line from over on the right-hand side. And we can keep it as the default. However, there is one small change that we need to make. We'll keep it as dear. You do not need to change anything in the term of the person's name. You do have the option to. But since we're using open punctuation, we're going to click on this little drop down here and then select none. So my preview for record 1 should say Dear James McDonald with no comma. Again, if for some reason first name, last name not matching up, you might want to match the fields there. Click OK. We'll hit enter 2 times, and then we'll begin typing in the body of our letter.